Oh, it's live. I think it's counting
Come.
upward.
All right. So first and foremost, we're gonna give all praises unto Yahweh,
Yahweh, Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem, Yahweh
Yahweh
Shai,
Shai, Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem, Rakah,
Rakah,
Kodash.
Wadash.
All right. Double honors into the apostles and elders of great millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations into the hopeful elect scattered abroad. All right. Um, this is going to be a very meaty, should I say, sit down. We're trying to, Lord willing, this be edifying to the elect. The testimony of Yahweh Shah is the spirit of prophecy. And today, the brother Azara, as well as myself, Tazapanya, out here in Colorado Springs, Sons of Jacob Camp, we was building on basically the internet of all things, this beast system, right? This NWO, this New World Order, and what they're trying to accomplish, because all roads lead to the MOTB, man. All right. So I'm gonna show a quick little video, and we're gonna probably bring up a couple of articles, and of course, we're gonna get into the scripture, to the word, and hopefully it's edifying so people could be aware and not be ignorant of Satan's devices. All right, Satan, the devil, the so-called white man, which is E, right? Evil, sleazy E. All right. So real quick, I'm gonna show you this. It was on TikTok. Elder Apostle Gabar did a video on the latter end, and I wish he would have went into the first part of it as well, because it's a two-part TikTok video. Somebody that did their little take on it. All right, but I'm gonna show this real quick, and then we're gonna get into it.
I was closing on my computer. I need to get out of here. I've been here most of the day. And then I decided to take one more look at my email. I can't make this shit up. I'm not telling you which state, it's not Florida. DOH and DHS are committed to working with our provider partners to combat the continued COVID-19 pandemic and have identified the following Z code for vaccine counseling that does not result in the vaccination. ZOO 28.20, immunization not carried out because of the patient's decision for unspecified reason. This new code will allow us to follow vaccine counseling visits and take more steps to vaccinate.
So real quick, before we continue on, to follow Jabberwocky visits. All right. So I want, the listeners to understand that. All right. Keep that in your head, because we're gonna go into these codes and what they mean, because we know how the devil do. He want to use legalese and hard terms, psychobabble, and we're gonna try to dissect that and break it down for regular Jake to understand on exactly what they're talking about, because they got subsection after code and blah, 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 right? So we're going to continue.
For those of you who don't know, an ICD-10 code is your diagnosis code. It flags your insurance, it flags. Anytime anybody was looking through codes, CMS, all those things, Medicare, they type in a code, and anybody who's been diagnosed that code comes up on a list. So for those of you that were wondering how they were going to find out who they needed to put in those education camps and counseling camps, we just got our so I know identify as vaccinated.
Listen closely to what she just said. And to add on to that, there's another code you need to be familiar with. ICD-10 code X99.9. It's legal execution, beheading by guillotine. If you're not familiar with what these are, I suggest you get familiar with them. And just know that in 1991, Congress signed into legislation these laws, which correlate to ICD-10 code X99.9. If you're a follower of Jesus Christ, Yahushua HaMashiach, you need to know about this because they're coming for your head.
Because in the coming generations.
All right, so now we're gonna break that down. There was so much information in that. All right, and a lot of these codes and ICD and all these numbers could go over a Jake head. All right, see, but here at the Sons of Jacob's camp, we go into the etymology, the origin of words. All right, we break down scripture, we go into the Hebrew and the Greek, and we research. Right, we don't just take any video that we see for face value. We actually go into it. All right, because 2 Timothy 2:15, study to show thyself approved. Right, a workman that divided the truth, that needed not to be ashamed. Roughly paraphrasing. All right, so.
Con.
Is anything
If
you
I
want
may
to
add,
add?
a wise man judgeth all things.
Khan, that's a good one right there too. You see what I'm saying? Because we supposed to be able to judge and basically see, because at the end of the day we're supposed to be watchmen. Yahweh Shah commanded us to watch and pray, right? In the book of Ephesians, when it says to what, matter of fact, we could get that real quick right now. Let's do a share screen.
Con.
All right, we're gonna go to. All right. Oh, circumspect. All right. So this is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 15. It reads, "See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise." All right. And Yahweh Shah also said to the disciples, the learners, those that are in the discipline of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, the true 100% doctrine that we believe has been passed down through the Spirit unto the apostle elders of Great Millstone on down. All right, that to be be as harmless as doves and wise as serpents. Now there's a lot of how do I say, Apostle Gabar brought out the fact that on the wisdom scale, serpent or dragon is the top when it's going to metaphorically. Right under the serpent is the owl, right under that is the toad, right under that is the monkey, if I'm not mistaken. And there might have been one more, but just using that metaphor as serpent being subtle, crafty, the highest pinnacle of wisdom in certain cultures and customs. Now we're gonna go real quick into this word circumspectly. I don't know why. Let's see.
Con. Hey, while you look for that, just to bring out in that new movie, Shang-Chi, the Marvel movie about spiritual power, there's a dragon in there, and it's called the Great Protector. Pursuant to
Wow.
Yahweh Shai.
Wow. See, that's that's actually spiritual. That's spiritual. So this word, was that? Let me see. Yeah, that's okay. Circumspectly. So that was it. Circumspectly now goes into Salakia. This is my first time on the stream, y'all, doing the actual screen. So for the listeners and audience out there, bear with me. So the word that is translated to circumspectly in the Greek is G199, which is akribos. All right. Akribos. Right. And it means exactly, accurately, diligently. All right. So with a diligent understanding, look, deviating in no respect from the law of duty. All right. And it was our law and our duty not only to be circumspect, all right, but to be aware, man, look around. Okay.
Well, that goes into the whole duty of man as well.
Fear the Most High and keep His commandments. Right. That's right. in the last book of Ecclesiastes, Con. All right. So now understanding everything that is going on in the world and where we're leading into, right? Everything is manufactured, but it's all in control of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So it seems like there may be a food shortage, but this is all manufactured by the elites, the international banking families. It seems like the economy is going to crash, but it's all manufactured by the international banking families. All right, but it's all through control, right? Because in the book of Proverbs, right, Solomon wrote, in the inspiration of Yahweh, that a man direct his steps, but the Lord let me, before I butcher it, let's get it directed. Spelled it wrong. But basically, they're in control, but it's under the left hand energy. All right, so all of it is being orchestrated by the Most High. Because at the end of the day, this is His movie.
Oh, I got a set for you too, when you're done with that one.
Khan, you could actually bring it out right now while I'm pulling this up
Con.
and break it down. Right.
So,
So
like,
this is
what step are you trying to bring out in Ephesians?
the circumspectly that we just brought out in Ephesians 5.
Okay.
Ephesians 5 and what was it, 15 or 13? Ephesians 5 and 15, right. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil, right? So we're trying to buy back this time, all right, by just like you were saying, doing the whole duty of man, right? So we're commanded to study this word, learn it in truth, all right, and go teach it, all right, and to warn our people, right, of the wrath that is soon to come from Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. All right. So this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 9 on the screen. It reads, a man's heart deviseth his way, but Yahweh directeth his steps. All right. So there is no counsel against the Most High. So the wicked, these Edomites, they're trying to create and push an agenda, which is that new world order. All right. And they're devising that. They're putting out unrighteous decrees, wicked legislations to bring that out. But it's not going to come to pass eventually. It's going to get super close. You see what I'm saying? To the point where there's a lot of people that is going to show their loyalty unto the beast. All right.
Okay.
And through worshiping the image and the beast. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabbat Shalom Kakudah, John. All right. But so you wanted to bring up that script real quick?
Yeah, just to edify the walking circumspectly, one of the definitions was diligent. So this is Ecclesiastes 4 and 28. Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord will fight for thee.
Unto
Going
death.
into that word diligent.
And see, that's spiritual because that's exactly, I don't want to, rush myself a little bit, but we're gonna get onto the point of that video, right? Striving yourself unto death. The first precept that came to my head was, and they shall cast you into prison 10 days and hold fast unto death, and you shall receive a crown of life, roughly paraphrasing. All right. Now, concentration camps, education camps, internment camps, FEMA camps, it's all the same and synonymous to each other. It's prison. All right. A confinement place and area where your freedoms and liberties is discriminated against in an oppressive state. Right. So there's going to be, matter of fact, that's in Edris,
I was
second
just reading
Edris.
second, and I believe 8 when he's speaking to the Most High. I was just going into that today.
Let's see.
Second address 8.
So this is the book of Second Esdras, chapter 16, verse starting at verse 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. All right, Yahweh Shem, Yahweh Shai. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Yahweh Shem, Yahweh Shai. So we're getting to a crazy time. All right. So while you still looking for that precept, we're gonna get into this ICD. All right. Now I'm gonna share my screen. We're gonna do the entire screen for right now. Let's see what that's looking like. Boom. Nah, it seemed like it'll be better on the other way. Salakia, bear with me, bear with me. Share screen, window. Yeah, let's do that. Boom. All right. Salakia, you can see my screen on the.
Con, I see the ICD website.
All right, cool. So this is ICD-10 data. Matter of fact, let's pull that up real quick. ICD data definition.
Con, while you're looking for that, I don't know if you saw that screenshot I sent you, Ak. There's another ICD code about terrorism through laser.
Khan, we was going to get into all of that. We was going to get into all of that. Lord willing, Yahweh.
Con.
All right. So if I'm not mistaken, ICD, as you can see here on the CDC website, yep, ICD-10-CM, that's exactly what we're looking for. Right. So the CDC stands for the Center of Disease Control. ICD stands for International Classification of Diseases, 10th revision. All right, because every revision is a new class of data compilation. So when one becomes obsolete, they create a new revision based on the research that I've done so far. Right? Am I correct?
Con. It's kind of
So
like the IP addressing space. You know how there's IPv4 and IPv6. It's kind of like the same rationale, basically, is what the brother's trying to explain to y'all about address spacing. This is all about condensing space to save processing power, and you'll see why as the brother breaks it down.
Right. So notice on the left here it says mortality, right? Which that's deep. And the main word that we broke down earlier, because that should stand out, is international. Okay. New world order, one world government, one world currency, so on and so forth. All right. So this is not just for America. Okay. This is for the whole beast system. Everybody that is the beast being the revived ancient Roman Empire, which comprises of NATO and the EU. All right. So I'm going to read just this first paragraph, and it goes on to say the International Classification of Diseases, ICD, is designed to promote international comparability in the collection, processing, classification, and presentation of mortality statistics. This includes providing a format for reporting causes of death on a death certificate. Ain't we in a so-called scamdemic right now where they supposed to be reporting certain causes of death, and there's been through the alternative media that they're not accurately reporting causes of death or could be fabricating causes of death, Khan?
Well, I was doing some research, and the reason they can classify you as having COVID is because, according to the ICD codes, they are legally allowed to say that you died from COVID if they have reasonable belief that you were came into contact with somebody that was exposed. Meaning they don't have to have a test result, or you don't have to be asymptomatic or have symptoms. They can just assume that you came into contact and count it towards COVID.
See, that's crazy. But I'm gonna say this too, just for the algorithm's sake, use a code name for you
Oh,
see what I'm saying. We don't want I don't want to get another strike. So YouTube, This ain't medical misinformation. None of
Fine.
this is our content. All right, it's only for educational and informative uses only. All right. So now back to the CDC website. It goes on to say the reported conditions are then translated into medical codes through use of the classification structure and the selection and modification rules contained in the applicable revision of the ICD, published by who? The World Health Organization. All right. And notice the WHO, who, it's funny I said who because I wasn't even, that was just out of nowhere like that. But their emblem is what? Right? An aerial view of the earth surrounded by the Roman wreath, right? With the Asclepius, I don't want to say it wrong, but it's the snake with the two snakes going around the rod, right? So another symbolism, because you got to understand that the elite and everybody, they work through symbolism, right? And then more of inclusion, universal, World Health Organization. But to continue, these coding rules improve the usefulness of mortality statistics by giving preference to certain categories, by consolidating conditions, and by systematically selecting a single cause of death from a reported sequence of conditions. The single selected cause for tabulation is called underlying cause of death, and the other reported cases are the non-underlying causes of death. The combination of underlying and non causes is multiple causes of death. All right. And it goes on and on and on and on. All right. But now the main point that we wanted to bring up right here on the ICD10data.com, all right, is as we see right here, the diagnosis code, okay, which is Z28.2, right? Now, as we see right here, it says it's non-billable but non-specific, but when you go down, is 2016 and it's effective all the way to 2022, and there has been no change to it since 2016. The new code, which was the first year of the non-draft, right? So going back up, it goes on to say that immunization not carried out because of patient decision. So you could decide as a so-called patient to say no, right, or for any other unspecified reason that you don't want to be immunized, right, inoculated, jabbed up, take the jump shot, right? Now it goes on to say it should not be used for reimbursement purposes, as there are multiple codes below that contain greater level of detail, right? Short description, the patient decision or other unspecified reason, so on and so forth. All right. So the main breaking it down is the fact that they have a code that is internationally right, that they could get what was it? Matter of fact, you break that down as far as the billing goes and having the certain code in the system so that they know whether you
Okay,
jab.
so the fundamentally from IT, them using these classifications of code, you notice that the IC10 it adds a specific digit, and so if you know anything about medical coding and billing, and what's soon to come, pursuing a revelation, um, these codes are basically shorthand for a long list of symptoms or diseases. So what that means they could do is, you might walk into a store one day, but you might have an IC10 code that's blacklisted. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, now you have some centurions running up on you. You know what I'm saying? And same goes for being on the job. And also, what these IC10 codes being enforced in 2022 is going to do is make it to where you're uninsurable if you decide not to receive this mark. As you can see, a lot of states are fighting this right now, taking it to the Supreme Court. So now what they're going to do is, undercut you and make you uninsurable. So when you become uninsurable, what is an employer going to do at that point? You know what I mean?
And that's so deep because just like in the group chat when you was like The official guidelines for the use of the ICD 10-CM are approved by the cooperating parties, the American Hospital Association, the
Con,
American Health Information Management Association, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, and NCHS, right? So just like how you were saying, through all those departments, they're able to deny you of health care, right? If you're flagged of a certain code, right, that is connected to you. Okay. So, and the funny thing is, right. So they're classifying people, right, who haven't, and this is how the classifying is going to be digital.
con,
That's the whole point of this. You see what I'm saying? Because all roads lead to Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. Okay. All
con,
right. So notice right now, everything is Hegelian dialectic, which is cause, reaction, effect. They already planned through think tanks years ago that there was, biological warfare, whatever it may be. You see what I'm saying? And a a passport, right, using a QR code, right, had to be instituted because of these little paper cards that people is scamming and selling was not good. People can fake them, right? So they
con,
knew this, right? Oh, so now everybody have to have it digital. And then people's going to be able to supposedly probably fake a QR code or hack into something and sell certain apps, maybe have a fake one. And then they're eventually going to be like, well, you can't fake something that's inside your body, which is going to be the
exactly.
chip. You feel me? And it ain't just going to be medical information. And this is what we're about to get into, Lord willing, going into the coding digital database for financial transactions, which is going to be under the ISO 20022, which there's already 5 cryptocurrencies, all right, that is so decentralized at the moment, all right, that is on that system that has a faster um sharing processing speed, you know what I'm saying, than others. All right. And eventually when they come out with these CBDCs, all right, is going to be most likely on a system like that ISO system. All right. So that everything is connected and has to go through that system. And if everything is through that system, they can now track and see everything that you're doing. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Salaki, if I might add, to better explain why the flagging is important. So let's say you have, a little one and they have an asthma attack. You might call, and what is the first thing the dispatcher does? Get your information. You know what I mean? And you come up with the flag. They're not going to want to risk their so-called healthcare workers. You know what I mean? Coming out to a flagged individual. So now let's say you got shot.
Mhm.
You're going to be denied that medical care. You know Pursuant to
Exactly.
the scriptures, they're physicians of no value.
Right. Right. So that's why um it went on to say, which makes sense because matter of fact, let's get it. Let's get it right here in the book of Revelation, because I'm gonna show them. Yeah, Revelation 13. Slovakia. Revelation 13, and we're gonna go down to verse 15, and we're gonna read. Uh, and he had power, all right, to give life unto the image of the beast, right? So this image is that new world order, that military and political system, all right, of the beast being that ancient revived Roman Empire, all right, which the whore sits on, America, all right, which is a part of that beast, all right, that he being the spiritual demon Satan given unto the physical counterpart Esau Edom, all right, that image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image, right? So when we're going to go into this word worship, so,
Gone.
the image of the beast should be killed, and then we're going to go into the word kill. Okay. So let's go to this word worship, which is proskuneo, G4352. All right. Derivative of two words, so it's a compound word, and it means to kiss the hand to, towards, in token of reverence, right? Among the Orientals, especially the Persian, to fall upon the knees, touch the ground with the forehead as an expression of profound reverence. By kneeling, remember how it said that Yahweh talked to Elijah, and Elijah, paraphrasing the story real quick. It talks about in Romans, what is that, chapter 10 or 11, if I'm not mistaken, and also in the actual account of Elijah in Second Kings, that he gave unto him 7,000 men that would not bow the knee, right, to the image of Baal. All right, all right. So paying homage, kneeling, prostrated, making obeisance, whether in order to express respect or to make supplication, you doing things that is in compliance with what this government mandates is part of worship, prostration, homage, obeisance, and respect. All right. Especially if it's going against the law of the Most High. All right. And right now, with these jabs, it says not to basically, like in reference to tattoos, not to pierce the skin. Okay. So you taking that, you're already going off. All right. So now we're gonna go into that word killing, and this is the point that I was trying to bring up. When we go into this word killing or killed, yeah, G615, apoktano, right? It says to kill in any way, whatever, to destroy, metaphorically to extinguish, abolish. This one of the points is B, to deprive of spiritual life and procure eternal misery in hell. Now we know that there isn't no place where you just burn in forever. All the spirits go back to the spirit world. All right. Hell is a condition. Okay. But if you don't worship the image, you're gonna be, we're in hell right now. But who's he? Esau Edom can cause hell for you even more. But it's the derivative of this word is G575, and watch this. Primary particle of separation. See? Of separation of apart from the whole. Of any kind of separation of one thing from another by which the union or fellowship of the two is destroyed. A state of separation or distance. So if you don't worship the image, you don't take, what are they trying to do? They're trying to separate you from society. They do not want you to be a part, you see what I'm saying, of a life. Matter of fact, I just seen not too long ago that one of the Australian, I don't know if he's a politician or whatever, he said for any of the unjabbed, unvaccinated, that they're gonna make their life as miserable as ever and like they living in hell. You could research it. You see what I'm saying? So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to separate you. So that killing is killing you from your normal way of life here in Babylon the Great, which is America. Okay? So just like how I brought out, matter of fact, let's do that real quick. In the Apocrypha, man.
That made me think of a sep real quick.
Bring it up.
This is let me make sure I got the right one real quick. Yeah, it's verse 20 slide. Isaiah chapter 5 and 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Pursuing back to what you were saying about the prime minister, everybody who's refusing that sucker punch, you know what I'm saying, is doing so, whether they know so or not. They're doing a righteous thing, So again, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil.
Um, and it's see, and that's why Yahweh Shai, right? I want to say it's Isaiah 63 that he has a great a sacrifice in the land of Idumea. Who is that dotting like he done treaded the winepress coming from Basra, right? You see what I'm saying? Basra being modern day America, right? Modern day Basra is America. Basra was the capital city of Edom, right?
That's 63-1.
63-1, right? Salakia, Thawada Abba, for that remembrance. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, you see what I'm saying? All of these unrighteous decrees, the Most High seeing this, man. All right. And us as the hopeful elect have to move in the spirit, be aware, all right, and basically have faith, because the just shall live by faith, pursuant to the book of Hosea, all right, that everything that has been written in the word aforetime was not only for our example, but for us to have comfort in these scriptures. He's going to take care of us, man, if we're part of the elect. You see what I'm saying?
I
So
got a precept for you.
come on, bring it out, huh?
This is Isaiah 10-1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and write grievousness which they have prescribed.
Mhm. And look,
I'll read that again for you. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed.
So I was just about to bring out prescribe is the root word of prescription. To
Con,
write something before is a compound word, before, scribe, to write, right? So they know already what they giving you, but they gotta write you to, a certain dose, and that's why things keep coming 1, 2 shot, 3 shot. You feel me? Next thing you know, you're
con,
gonna be at the half court line trying to make it, and you just gonna fall out. Especially when they hit that button in this 5G, and now they coming at the. I just heard on a podcast today. You feel me? That they're starting trials on kids as young as 2.
con,
Because they doing it as young as 5, so they're gonna keep. And this is why it says in Revelation 13, man. That's why it's big. You have to know Revelation 13. You got to know what the MOTB is. Okay, if you're claiming to be of the house of Israel, man, a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right, which is the RFID chip, man. Radio frequency identification computer chip that is subdermal, right? So this is, where was it at? Right. Revelation 13:16. And he causeth all. That's the point. All. Why you think, at least the adults, not the kids. No, he causeth all. Who's that he? Esau, Edom, man. All right. And it's at the end of the day, the Most High put the spirit on them on the left hand side to push out this new world order, so that the Father could see who's on his side, right?
con.
Both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive the mark of their right hand on their foreheads, man. All right. So I know we talk all the time about the right hand, but if it came out a while ago, Elon Musk came out with this Neuralink, and that's just one company. There's other company that's competing with him to have these brain chips, man. All right. So, and honestly, that's crazy because it just came to me now. Now I'm thinking about what's the name? Facebook and Meta, right? The virtual reality. All right.
Con.
They're gonna be like, yo, you tired of wearing these goggles? Just put the chip in your head. And then you could, with a flick, just enter into the metaverse, man. We get into some serious wicked times, man. All right. You know,
And pursuing
so
back to the beginning of verse 10-1, that word woe means destruction. So the Most High is telling you what's going to happen when Eazy-E brings about, what he wants to do and give everybody this sucker punch, and later on the MOTB. Woe means destruction, so you're getting the warning now. You know, as we always say, we're just out here warning you. You know,
hmm Like we're commanded, man. Because why? Because we have a fear of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man, which
and
is
you're
the
getting that
beginning.
destruction because you prescribed grievousness.
Mhm. So I wanted to bring this out because in the video that we showed in the beginning of Salaki of our lesson, she said that, which makes sense from what Izara brought out, that let's say you walk into a store and the first thing that came to my mind was that I forgot what it's called. They tested it not too long ago, and it's in like San Francisco or something. Amazon, some Amazon store. I forgot the name, but there is no cashiers.
Oh, I know what you're talking. Yeah, the cashless stores.
Exactly, right? So using these codes now, they might not need anybody, and you thinking, oh, you good? I don't got the jab. I might be able to. You walk in, but you flagged the emission of that radio frequency that's connected to the computer, which is connected to the internet, could immediately, start some sirens, and who knows if there's a robot there or somebody rushing to detain you, or you can't just buy anything. The thing don't transfer. You see what I'm saying? Because that flagging, like you said, and it cuts you off. Didn't we just read killing in Revelation? Look up the etymology of the Greek. A separation is separates you. Now you
Con,
can't, and that's just desensitizing you to the full thing of having the RFID chip to not buying or selling, man.
con.
Okay.
That made me also think. Let's say you know this truth, and all you do is watch videos. You know, they could flag you for that. So you go into the store thinking, you're good. You've never been caught on the highways and byways, but
Mhm.
they have your digital signature pursuant to the Internet of Things. Now you go into the King Supers, the cashless King Supers, and all of a sudden you can't get your eggs and milk. You know, and you don't know why, but you were watching videos of Great Millstone and the likewise camps. And this is things they could do. Because just like you brought out in the beginning about metadata, you know what I'm saying? Every video has metadata, which could be attached to,
Mhm.
the said link to your chip.
No, that's super deep, man. Because you know, and see, that's what I don't think. Well, I was gonna say that people don't get, Jake don't get, but if you don't get it, it wasn't meant for you to get it. You
Um,
see what I'm saying? The Most High, Yahweh Shah said, for I have chosen you. You didn't choose me. Whoever the Father has given Yahweh Shah is those that's going to be part of the elect. Point blank. Period. All
um,
right. You can't just automatically start deciphering the scriptures and breaking it down correctly. Nah, you have to be taught, and you got to be taught by learned men from Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shah himself, our mediator, our high priest, all right, our big brother, all right.
and the spirit has to sup with you. You know what I'm saying? Because we could attempt to teach you, but if the spirit ain't supping, you know,
Mm-hmm,
it's null and void, like the brother's saying.
mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go
So,
grab my charger real quick. I'll be right back. It's
uh,
a lot.
so I'm gonna just read a little bit while the brother come back that we was in the group chat. So it was saying that um in the video that I showed in the beginning of this video, pretty much went viral amongst, the Israelite community, specifically, those with the same doctrine of GMS. That I'm assuming she was a registered nurse or an RN, and she was saying that she got an email at the hospital that she was working and explaining the ICD 10 code that she got, right? That we researched and brought out, right? But she was saying that not only can you be flagged, but you could be sent to an education camp or FEMA camp, right? Why? Because everybody, they're gonna know who has taken the jab and who hasn't.
Not
Okay.
just that, but they'll be able to geolocate you because it's gonna emit a radio frequency.
Right. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Because with the nodes on the earth and the satellites, which help bring that 5G, 6G, because I'm China, the Moabites damn near got 6G already. You see what I'm
Con,
saying? Which in order for you to have these fast speeds, you know, people get mad, yo, my phone acting slow, whatever. Well, you want faster speed, you're gonna have to worship the beast more, because you know they're gonna have to build towers closer to each other, but that means as there's more radiation that's coming to you, and that's another thing too, because the more I'm seeing it, you know, this shit is really some bullshit, right? The Windows 19, and they're saying that it's really radiation sickness from new technological advances. All right. Like when I first woke up to the truth, I was seeing certain things, certain cell phones, even when you turn off your cell phone is still emitting a radiation frequency. Women that used to carry their phone in their pocket all the time, through actual scientific studies, they was getting ovarian cancer. People who had cell phone towers in their backyards, they was waking up with headaches, doing this, doing that. And when you look into it, G just stands for generation. Just like we had 10, ICD 10 is the revision, it's a newer version. You had 1G, 2G. 1G was radio. Then it went to radio waves, small waves. Then it went to 2G, which was like radar, sonar, right? In the World War II. And during every time they went up a technological advance and mass spread it, is when certain plagues came, whether it would have been, you know, the Spanish flu or whatever, 1909. That's the same year that a bunch of people died by that Spanish flu. Next one on, it was another big mass, you see what I'm saying, epidemic, so on and so forth, so on and so forth. When you get to the SARS, when you get to the this, when you get to the that, right? So whether we right now, because and look, out in China, it started supposedly, right? And then China is way far advanced than us when it comes to the 5G. Now, I just seen last week, I think I posted in the chat, I don't know if you've seen Azarad, that December 4th was supposed to be the date. No, December 5th was supposed to be the date that AT&T and T-Mobile or Verizon basically pushed the button for the 5G. They pushed it back, right, to January 5th. Matter of fact, let's pull that up real quick so people don't think that I'm wilding out. Jan 5th, 5G. Was it
Well, you just got me thinking through the spirit. 5G is basically a longer lasting radio wave. And if you think about it, that's all going to be used for, the MOTB, man.
right?
To like we were saying, geolocate you. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to, hide in that day.
Slovakia. No, not 2021, 2022. So, see, and then Google too be messing. That's why I be using DuckDuckGo now.
God. I'm gonna go through the chat arc and try to find that link that you shared with us.
Let's go to that, because see, and then that's how you know eventually the famine of the word is coming, because they keep on doing things, switching the algorithm. 5G rollout.
It's a Wall Street Journal article. Excuse me, Salak.
Word. So that's it's on the main website. I don't know why.
Yeah, I could just hold it up.
Con. Do that. Stop.
Over the FAO Salak, my
screen. Can you turn the light down a little bit, maybe?
Yeah, it might be too bright. Let me drop the brightness, maybe.
Yeah, there we go. So it says AT&T Verizon to delay 5G rollout over That's the Federal Aviation and something airplane safety concerns, right?
Con.
So if you can read the date out real quick.
Wireless carriers postpone planned December 5th launch of new spectrum to address concerns about potential interference with cockpit safety systems. The December 5th rollout is being delayed until January 5th, responding to
Right.
Federal
So that's the
Aviation dispute
Salakia.
claims, Slovakia, that the cellular signals would represent a danger. So you know that's spiritual. The FAA itself is telling them to delay it out of danger.
That's crazy. Now watch this. You see this right here, right?
Yeah, we see it out.
Right. So what date is this right here? January 4th. Right. Now it's only saying healthcare workers, but if I'm not mistaken, let's see this one right here. It was all employers that have 100 or more employees is going to get fined if they do not mandate the Satan's piss. Under the plan, employers with more than 100 employees must choose whether their workers be fully zombie juiced or undergo weekly testing within 30 days of the plan's publication in the Federal Register on November 5th, right? So that got delayed, all right? Now talking about the supply chain crisis, so on and so forth, basically until January 4th, all right? Now, I brought that out because if January 5th, they are turning on the 5G, yo, it could be a shit show, son. Oh man, you know what I mean? Like, because our bodies have, like in the scripture, there's a difference between a celestial body and a terrestrial body, right? We're in the terrestrial bodies. Lord willing, we get put in the work to get them celestial bodies, right? Because there's nothing but, chains of darkness, right? According pursuant to the book of Jude. So we have this electromagnetic radiation. This is why static electricity, when we was in school with the balloon and everything. So our bodies is electric, right? The spirit is of the Father, and we know that the angels is nothing but pure fire, like Apostle Ram Lab and Apostle Gabar say. You feel me? Pure energy, right? So that being affected by other frequencies, because everything gives off a frequency, right? So with that being said, if you lower the frequency, the body could, that's what, like, if you first thing you do when you wake up in the morning, you play some trap music, you're gonna be feeling all gangster the whole day or something like that. You feel me? And Amalek, who owns the hip-hop industry, know it, right? So that's why they put out them type of vibrations. So just use it as an example. Long story short, if they're able to push a certain frequency, whether you can hear it or not, right, at a very fast pace, it can alter the mind, right, in conjunction with metals already in the system and the electrical currents that the body consists of. But that's all I got on that.
Con, that's spiritual. Because I was thinking about the frequency interference, and it's been like I stopped listening to some of the rap for like a few months, just to get that spiritual detox, man. And I turned on King Von, and it put me in the spirit of being on go. Like, I'm you looking around for, like who wants it? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's we have receptors in our body to fill out frequencies. That's i.e. why back in World War II, I don't know if you heard about the Windtalkers, the Navajos. They were able to to navigate better because their receptors were better. You know, they were able to grow out their hair in the military and their beard. You know, and the army actually did real experiments on these guys. And when they shaved their beard, they didn't have that warrior-like instinct. And what the experiment was is they would sneak up on the Gadite in their sleep, and when they were able to have their hair, like the law says, they will wake up before the military cadre would find these guys, and they would already be like ready to go. But when they shave their those receptors, you know what I'm saying? The military sergeants could just roll right up on Gad. You know what I'm saying? And so they allowed Gad to keep their hair for the war.
That's crazy. And that makes so much sense. But to continue on, I wanted to read something that you put in the chat, right? So you were saying that the ICD codes are used as an international coding system, meaning the elites have everyone's medical information. And you were saying that that's important due to the fact that the U.S. Army has biological weapons research facilities at Fort Detrick, Maryland, which is still active to this day, right? And which I know as well too, classifying people's medical information helps epidemiologists to better construct weapons of biowarfare, which is crazy. You see what I'm saying? And just like how you said, when people was praising this joker, Barack Obama, and he the one that added so much. And matter of fact, let's get that real quick, because he added tens of thousands, 68,000 ICD codes, basically more shit to track you. And then watch this, right? As I share the screen one more time to show potential audience. All right. So, and that's the second part, right? With the guillotine, right? So there's an ICD code X9.99, and that's scriptural because what? X is the thigh in the I bar, the Lashon Kodash, the holy tongue of the Hebrew, right? And X is the cross, right? And 9.99 is nothing but 666 upside down, right? So it goes on to say here, right? FEMA camps will be segregated. Men will be sent to gender segregated camp, and slave labor will be extracted as per Obama's Executive Order 13603. Now, I pulled that up, right? Signed by President Barack Obama. The purpose of this executive order is to delegate authority and address national defense resource policies and programs under the Defense Production Act of 1950. Now, didn't through Operation Warp Speed Trump enact the Defense Production Act? Now it goes on to say a number of viral emails claim that the executive order creates martial law, right? And it was repeated by a congresswoman from Texas. So that's pretty much the point, right? Well, matter of fact, let's go down to this little fact-checking website. Provide unprecedented new powers such as declaring martial law, seizing private property, implementing rationing of food. And it's crazy because I was talking to a co-worker today, and he said that the boss was saying that this woman, which is out of order anyway, woman being over you, but she was getting meat, Edomite woman, and she bought two because they know what's going on with this whole little no food and all of that in the supermarkets or whatever. And the meat marketplace people was like, yo, we run out of meat, but they only selling 2 steaks per person. So she was getting her employees to go buy steaks for her or whatever. So I'm just saying that because we're getting into a point of rationing food, man. All right. And that's the same thing that they did. All right. So from what they tell us in Nazi Germany, right? But so let's go back. All right. This is something what in Beaumont, Texas, all right, of what these FEMA camps might look like. All right. So the billing code, right, for that, which is this right here, but this one actually went out. But the new one is the other one, this X 9.99. I would have to pull it up, but basically it's legal execution. This is under the ICD 9. So there's a ICD 10. Okay. That actually use an equivalent ICD 10 code, because this was out of service on October 1st, 2015. Okay. But they have things in place, right? For money purposes, insurance, and so on and so forth. All right. In order to kill people legally, right? By guillotine, man. That's the whole point, right? And now we can go into scripture, because that's the main point of this lesson, because you gotta always filter everything through the word, which is Yahweh Shai, right? And Revelation 20, chapter 20, verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shah. Now, another word for witness is testimony. And what is the witness of the testimony of Yahweh Shah? The spirit of prophecy, meaning they prophets, man. So prophets is going to be beheaded because they had that spirit. The Holy Spirit was upon them, all right, and preaching the gospel, the good news of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah unto the hopeful elect of the house of Israel. For the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years. All right. So that's how you know it's scriptural. In the video that we showed earlier, this ICD code, right? That shows that they can legally do this. So we're just like Azara was saying, we're preparing our people, we're warning them so the blood is not on our hands, pursuant to the book of Ezekiel. All right, chapter 3, chapter 4. All right, as watchmen, man, because we've been given that spiritual eye salve. All right. Matter of fact, that actually I do want to bring that. Matter of fact, can you bring that up? Blessed are those the eyes that can see, or blessed are they that see, and blessed are they that hear. Something like that. Blessed see something.
That's Matthew, right?
Yes, yes.
Come on. Matthew 13, I believe. This is Matthew 13 and 16, and I think I got to read the 17. Blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear.
Right. So we are seeing into the future. Wasn't prophets of old called seers, right? So we've been given the spirit of the Most High to see what's to come. We see of what's coming, all right? And the chip is coming. Jacob's trouble is coming. Yahweh Shah is definitely coming. The missiles is coming to destroy America. Them chariots is coming, all right? So we see that, and we hear, and we've heard, and we continue here the prophecies from the elders and the apostles, man. And our spirit bears witness that we the sons of the Most High. But Salakia, I'll continue.
Khan. Verse 17, for verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them.
Right. See, remember the books were sealed at a certain point in time. Remember, the wicked had to be revealed, a falling away first, and the end shall not come until there be a falling away first, and wicked be revealed. You feel me? Some people knew that, but everybody didn't know it at that time, right? And the prophets wanted to see how it shall come back, right?
I gotta say,
go ahead, read it out.
This is a Salakia. This is 2 Esdras 9, and I'm gonna start at 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of these signs pass, which I have told thee before, thou shalt understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And that was it right there.
Con. I mean, it is, and we use the scriptures, the Bible, to as that measuring tool.
Con.
Okay. And that's how we know. So, we don't, Yahushua don't even know when he comes back. Only the Father knows. But we able to know the season. And we able to line up prophecies to feel like, yo, he at the door. All right. And that's why we stay up, because if we're not going to be caught like a thief in the night, because we're going to be up awake looking out for him. So I wanted to bring out this one script and go into what she said, and then after that we could probably wrap it up if you have nothing else to add on. But this is back at second address. Let me share the screen. Right, back at second address, chapter 16, right? And I'll start at verse 70. So it says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Most High." All right, and not taking this jab, not taking the chip, is part of fearing the Most High. They shall be like madmen. Who's they? All right, the enemy, man, the military, your police force, the people that is in conjunction, pushing the agenda of the beast. All right, that NATO EU. All right, sparing none. Right, sparing none. Just like how, what was it, Ezekiel or Jeremiah? I think it was Ezekiel. The Most High was like, slay old, young, women, child, maid, young men. That's so they ain't sparing nobody, man. It's gonna be all out hell out here in these streets, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Most High. So look, they're gonna be destroying you, killing you, and they're gonna be spoiling you. A lot of women gonna get ravished. Y'all gonna be taken as spoil. All right. Verse 72, "For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses." Now this is kind of twofold too, because not only the military but just regular people. All right, because when this economy crashed and they're trying to bring in this new cashless society, the digital ID and all of that, all right, there's going to be probably a good period of time, especially if you fearing your Habashem Yahushua, and you're not a part of that system, but you're not, money ain't gonna be able to buy you anything. You can't eat nothing. And with this supply chain crisis and no food, people gonna be going into other people's houses trying to take away their goods. All right. But part of them with the cast away them out of their houses, when she was saying in the video, all right, according to the email that she had, they could know uh who is not jabbed. And just like how you said with the hospitals and jobs, right? Just like Biden on January 4th that I brought up, right? The what's the name? The employees all have to be jabbed or whatever by a certain date coming up in the less than 60 days. All right. And if you have that flag on you, all right, pursuant to the ICD code, you are going to be uninsurable. Therefore, if something happened to you, the employer will have to pay way more money than they want to. Hence, they don't have to need a mandate. Like you were saying, they could just fire you because you're a liability now. You're not an asset. You're not making the money. And what did you say that the government would do if there's a big population of unjabbed, uninsurable, unemployable people? They're going to imprison them. And this is that, matter of fact, let's get it real quick.
Real quick before you grab that, how about that sep you were looking for in Ezekiel 9?
Read that.
This is Ezekiel 9:6. "Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house."
Right. So that mark is the mark of exemption, right? That sealing, all right, of the elect, man. All right. Specifically the 144,000 men of that governing body, and as well as the men, women, and children, that large multitude scattered across the four corners. Okay. So there's going to be a mark of exemption. We're going to all go through it. You see what I'm saying? We got to go through Jacob's trouble, but the Most High is going to take care of us, and we have to have faith in that, right? So going back into second address, all right, that's that That's where we in Ezekiel, sparing none, because the Most High gave them the spirit. Was it in Ecclesiasticus that he created spirits for vengeance? All right. And in Isaiah, what is it, 42, 45, 7, that, I create good, I create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So he's the one, all right, that is using people to kill people, you feel me, on the left-hand side for his will, right? So continuing on, verse 73, then shall they be known who are my chosen, the remnant, the hopeful elect, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. That fire is that persecution, that trouble that you're going through, the straits, difficult positionings. All right. So that's pretty much all it was in that, but that's why I wanted to bring up I don't know why I didn't come up with that. I typed 10, that's why the number's not the letters. But it's gonna pop up just now. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Right? See, that's that fire that we just talked about, second Esdras. Also in Zechariah, I will bring a third of you through the fire. Right? Behold, the devil, Esau, Edom, shall cast some of you, not all of us, some of us is going to have to do it, but those that are of the hopeful elect, he's going to give you the spirit to endure. All right. Some of you in the prison, your concentration camps, your education, internment, female, whatever you want to call them, that ye may be tried, right? We just read that. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Now, 10 is just a period of time. It could be 7 days, it could be 9 days, it could be 20 days, it could be longer than that. All right. It's just a time period. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. And that's why unto death, because there's going to be those that are martyrs through the witness of Yahweh Shah and beheaded. All right. And that's a righteous thing because you'll be the first ones in the chariots, man. You see what I'm saying? So we got to know what we signed up for. All right. And just have full faith. Is there anything else you wanted to add onto that?
Well, I mean, that's a good transitioning point, real quick, to close out on the other ICD 10 code we found about the spacecraft and why would they have that in there, or the one about terrorism through laser. Because see, Easy E knows what's about to happen, and these codes are also for insurance, and everybody, Easy E's military is insured,
Mm-hmm.
and there has to be a code so that their families would be able to receive the benefit upon death.
So there's a code, spacecraft collision injuring occupant initial encounter, right? So then it goes on to say, describes the circumstance causing the injury. Here it goes right here. Terrorism involving drowning and submersion, terrorism involving lasers, terrorism involving piercing or stabbing instruments, right? So right there, like you were saying with the lasers, yeah, break that down, huh? Break that down.
Well, you would have to think why does Easy E have in his medical coding index codes for spacecraft and injury from spacecraft,
right?
And why is terrorism is a subcategory and the other subcategory is by laser, as you saw. So the men of the Lord, starting with Great Millstone on down, are we wrong if it's in Esau's medical index?
Right.
Why is this? Because that index is a part of all those 68,000 ailments, diseases, and procedures are all insurable under his government. So why is it that in there's spacecraft, or being sucked through the hull of a jet engine, or being killed through laser,
And one thing to bring out too is because this started in the 10th revision, which was 2015, 2016. This is way before the declassifications and them on the news talking about UAPs, before the word UAP even came out. They were still calling them UFOs, and it wasn't even being talked about. The only people that was really talking about UFOs was the kooks, the cuckos, the bug outs, and Great Millstone. All right. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Esau knew, all right, or he knows about the chariots, man. He knows Yahweh Shah is a so-called black man, and he's coming back with dark-skinned angels and these supernatural transportation devices, which are the chariots, the clouds, the flying roll, so on and so forth in the Holy Scriptures. All right. And they're coming back for the Israelites. And he knows this. And there's going to be a war in heaven pursuant to the book of Revelation. All right. So they're just trying to get to a certain degree. They want everybody on one accord, but like in the book of Obadiah, even their own ally is going to go against them. Talking about America, you know.
Well, it's kind of like the modern day Tower of Babel, you know. Eazy-E hasn't learned from the past, man. You know, they already tried to ascend to the heights of heaven, and look what happened. You know, the language was confounded amongst men. You know, so that we would disagree, and like the brother from Virginia brought out. You know, we were made to go off. You know, we weren't supposed to join hand in hand because you had the descendants of Adam at that time. You know what I'm saying? Which would be the line of Shem on down. That make us. You know what I'm saying? So we can't join hand in hand with them, but they haven't learned from the past.
Not at all. Not at all. Well, I think that was Yapa. And Yahweh Ratazah, Abba Ratazah, Lord willing, that was edifying. We're at about right after the 1 hour mark. There was a lot that we went through. Seen a couple people come in and out, you know what I'm saying? But hopefully that they got something that planted a seed, and Yahweh can give the increase for brothers Akim to do more research into it, because we got to be occupied in the prophecies as the book of the Lord tells us. All right, so we're keeping our eyes open spiritually, right? And putting all our treasures in heaven, because Babylon is done. This is over with, man. Ain't no purpose to be trying to do this and that. Jacob's trouble is literally around the corner. Lord willing, we don't see 2023. You see what I'm saying? And we just dive right into the tribulation, because we just have faith that Yahweh is going to take care of us, man, no matter what we got to go through. So again, Lord willing, I was edifying to elect. Double honors to the Apostle Elza Great Millstone, who told us this truth, man, and who do rule well. All right, shalom, big shalom to the Akim out there that is presenting their body as a living sacrifice. All right, on them highways and hedges, bidding as many into the marriage as they can. All right, the few Aquat that's out there listening in silence, a shalom to you. And last but not least, definitely first and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushua, Ba'asham, Rakah, Quadash. All right. And with that, we want to say Kwam Yasharala and Abad B'Bor.
Shalom up.